Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Philippine Rice Research Institute, Bicol, and the Albay Provincial Agricultural Office have teamed up to boost rice production in saline-affected areas of the province. The project introduces salt-tolerance rice varieties, sustainable soil and water management techniques, and training for local farmers. Officials said that the initiative will help farmers adapt to stress-prone environments while promoting food security and climate resilience. The province-wide rollout is expected to benefit more communities and strengthen Albay's agricultural sustainability. In other story, the provincial government of Albay has launched a workshop integrating biosphere reserve concepts into the school curriculum. The two-day activity, organized by the Provincial Tourism, Culture and Arts Office and the Albay Biosphere Reserve Management Council, is held in partnership with the Department of Education. Teachers and curriculum writers are developing lesson materials that highlight Albay's natural wealth, culture, and sustainable practices. The goal is to inspire students to value nature, cultural identity, and community resilience. Discussions continue with the presentation of draft lessons and activities promoting Albay's commitment to sustainability. In other news, 21 cooperatives from across Albay came together to showcase a wide range of local products in celebration of Cooperative Month. The trade fair, organized by the Provincial Cooperative Enterprise and Manpower Development Office in partnership with the Cooperative Development Authority, highlighted the role of cooperatives in supporting local enterprise and sustainable livelihoods. Participating groups included agricultural, multipurpose, and farmers as cooperatives promoting food, crafts, and community products. Provincial officials lauded the cooperatives for their contribution to Albay's economy and community development. The event also featured exhibits, food safety lectures, and discussions on support programs from Land Bank. In the national scene, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. underscored the urgency of disaster preparedness amid recent earthquakes that rattled parts of the Philippines, including strong tremors in Cebu and Davao Oriental. In his latest vlog, Marcos highlighted the country's vulnerability due to its location along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region prone to seismic activity and volcanic eruptions. He encouraged families to prepare emergency go bags and emphasized the importance of heeding advice from local officials during natural calamities. The president also stressed that every household should have a clear plan for responding to disasters, including knowing what to do when away from home. Marcos also warned the public against misinformation, urging them to rely on credible sources such as official social media pages of government agencies, including FIVOX, Pag-asa, and the Philippine National Police, to stay informed during emergencies. In other story, the palace rebuffed Vice President Sara Duterte's criticism of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, which President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently formed to investigate irregularities in flood control projects. Duterte earlier questioned the commission's credibility, claiming it was created to legitimize the administration's narrative surrounding the corruption issue. She also argued that the Office of the President could have conducted the probe using its confidential funds. In response, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro dismissed Duterte's remarks as baseless and politically charged. She criticized public officials who, instead of contributing to national progress, resort to speculation and unfounded accusations. Castro questioned Duterte's ability to present credible evidence, accusing her of spreading fabricated stories with no real value. Castro further suggested that the vice president might be attempting to discredit the ICI out of fear that investigation could expose uncomfortable truths. She emphasized that the commission is composed entirely of non-political experts with integrity, tasked solely with uncovering facts. In other news, citizens were encouraged to report or file complaints about inactive super health centers following the launch of the Department of Health's Upland Bantay Super Health yesterday. Health Promotion Bureau Director Tina Morasigan said on Saturday that this complaint desk was part of the Department of Health's Citizen Participatory Audit Program. The Department of Health has received several reports about unused super health centers, which led to the creation of Upland Bantay Super Health as a citizen complaint platform. Morasigan mentioned that people could submit photos or videos of health facilities in their areas that appeared to be idle. After attending a coordination meeting with the Independent Commission for Infrastructure on Friday, Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa disclosed that the number of non-operational super health centers nationwide had risen to 300. He handed over the list of these centers to the investigation team for further action. The Department of Health also inspected a super health center in Antipolo City that was completed but not functioning. The agency said that over 18 million pesos facility only began operating on Thursday ahead of Herbosa's visit, despite being completed in 2024. And in the news outside the country, massive protests erupted across all 50 U.S. states on Saturday as demonstrators rallied against President Donald Trump's hardline policies in nationwide No Kings protests. Organizers framed the events as a stand against authoritarianism, while Republicans dismissed them as hate America rallies. Millions were expected to participate in cities including New York and Los Angeles, as well as smaller towns and areas near Trump's Florida residence. In Washington, D.C., crowds gathered near the U.S. Capitol chanting slogans such as, "This is what democracy looked like," and "Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go." The protest unfolded amid a federal government shutdown entering its third week amid congressional deadlock. Many demonstrators carried American flags flown upside down as a distress signal and held signs calling for the protection of democratic principles. Some protesters also demanded the abolition of immigration and customs enforcement central to Trump's immigration crackdown. The demonstrations criticized what participants described as the president's authoritarian tactics, including attacks on the media, political opponents, and undocumented immigrants. In other story, Peru's new government announced that it will place the capital Lima under a state of emergency following weeks of nationwide protests fueled by anger over corruption and surging crime. The move comes after a protest near the Congress building turned violent on Wednesday, leaving one man dead and over 100 people injured. Clashes erupted when some demonstrators attempted to breach security barriers, prompting police to fire tear gas in response to rocks and fireworks thrown by protesters, according to AFP. The unrest follows last week's impeachment of former President Dina Boluarte, who faced widespread criticism for failing to address the country's crime crisis and for alleged involvement in corruption. Her ouster has intensified youth-led demonstrations, drawing thousands to the streets in Lima and other major cities. Authorities said a state of emergency is aimed at restoring order as public frustration continues to mount over the government's handling of security and accountability. And finally, in the news outside the country, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte will remain under the custody of the International Criminal Court even if medical experts find him unfit to stand trial on charges of crimes against humanity, a lawyer said. ICC Assistant to Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti announced on Facebook Saturday that if the ICC judges determine Duterte is unfit for trial, the case will be postponed but not dismissed. Duterte will stay in custody as the case is reviewed every 120 days. The ICC's pre-trial chamber has ordered a medical examination to assess Duterte's fitness to participate in pre-trial proceedings, including the confirmation of charges. A medical panel made up of a forensic psychiatrist, neuropsychologist, geriatric and behavioral neurologist will evaluate whether any medical condition could impact Duterte's ability to take part in the ongoing legal process. And that's all for the News at 12, October 21, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer LJ Lurejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez, and on the technical side, Chad Bobis. Our Provincial Information Officer, OIC Marty Gonzalez, and under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rosal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.